Welcome to the Signal Pres podcast.
Welcome to the Signal Pres podcast, the place for you to learn, to grow, and to get connected to the body of Christ here at Signal Pres. I'm Joey Sherrod. I'm one of your hosts.
And I am Abby Hutto. I am also one of your hosts.
Down here in the studio, again, Abby, I got good vibes today. I got really good vibes.
Yeah.
There's like some positive energy.
Positive energy, like maybe some athletic energy.
Some intensity, some intention.
Like somebody could really do a lot.
Yeah, that's right. Do a lot.
Clear I'm not an athlete. Somebody could really just do a lot with something.
But it's not limited to athleticism. The vibes that I'm picking up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it's overall good vibes. And do you know the reason why?
Tell us why, Joey.
Well, sitting directly to your left is Tyler Haar. He's on the podcast. Welcome to the podcast,
We've been waiting
Tyler Haar.
for this moment, Tyler Haar.
Waiting my whole life.
Us too. It's really great to have you on. Really great to have you on.
Yeah.
So Tyler Haar is a member of our congregation, been a member since 2018 or so. Recently stepped on to serve our congregation as an elder as well. Tell us a little about yourself, Tyler. Where you're from, family, school, all things.
Yeah, so I grew up in Minnesota, and my connection to kind of the area was through my dad's side of the family. So my grandparents and two aunts and uncles and some cousins all lived in Cleveland, Tennessee, which is like 45 minutes from here. And they all went to a Christian school there called Lee University.
Oh, yeah.
And so I decided kind of junior year, senior year of high school that it'd be good for me to go far away from home, but I had some connection to family and decided to go there and just really loved it. Jokingly said that I was going to come down here and never marry a Southern girl, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever said. Like I would love to grab
to declare.
Terrible. That was like Northern arrogance. And so, sure enough, I met my wife, Maddie, there. And she is very much a Southern girl in the best way. Yeah. And we got married in 2018. And then we moved down to Chattanooga, and we lived at the foot of Signal Mountain. We lived on Mountain Creek Road, which I feel like is a rite of passage in Chattanooga. I feel like I've met so many people that have lived there.
Which apartment were you in?
Yeah, yes.
That's how the conversation goes.
So we lived there for a year, and then started attending Signal Pres shortly after that in the fall, I believe, in 2018. And then we have a daughter who is 13 months old today. Her name is Hallie, and we have a second one on the way this summer. So 2 girls, and so it's fun. And then
do the math for us. How far apart will they be?
They'll be like 18 months apart.
Oh my gosh.
So
it's about to get bad.
I know. I'm like, I feel like it's
you come on this podcast to be encouraged.
Yeah. Yep.
But we tell you the truth first. You might not remember a few years of your life, but
probably not. Yeah. I'm like trying to be optimistic, like, they'll just be the best of friends. And
they
I'm
will
sure
be.
They'll fight.
No,
too,
they will be. Mine are the best of friends.
So there you go.
Yeah, they're 16 months apart. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, speaking of, so Mountain Creek Road was a transitional space for you. You moved somewhere else after that, right? But then you've been up on the mountain, living on the mountain for like 4 days.
5 days. Yep. So we lived on Mountain Creek Road from 2018 to 2019. We bought a house in Hickson in 2019, which we loved, and we just sold it and moved up to Signal this past Friday. So we're like Signal Mountain residents for 5 days. But it was really funny. There was a season of just being at the church here where everyone would ask, "Where do you live on the mountain?" And I'm like, we don't live on the mountain. So we're one of those weird ones that didn't live on the mountain. But grateful to be up here now.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Well, we are grateful to have you.
Yeah. One of the other things that people often ask people at Signal Pres is, have you gone through the Skittle Gauntlet? And I guess your answer heretofore would be no, I haven't. No. But now it will be yes. Yes, you have.
I'm
ready to go through the gauntlet.
I would argue that no one has ever asked anyone that here at Signal Pres, but
I will start asking.
I guess you and I run in different circles.
I guess we do. All right, Tyler, if you'll open up your bag of Skittles. And
I took the first one.
Perfect. The first one. And tell us what color you got.
It's green.
Green. All right. So now we're going to let him pick a corresponding green question. Read it out loud for us and then please answer it.
Okay. I'll go with the first one. Did you celebrate any milestones in the past year? And I turned 30 in the past year.
That's incredible.
Really old.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You hush your mouth.
I'm still at the point where I want people to think I'm older than I am.
Yeah.
So now I just confessed my age, and that will not be good. But just a fun story about that. We planned a trip to New York City for my birthday on my 30th. So we went with another couple friend of ours, and she hyped up New York City to me for years and was like so convinced that I would love it, and absolutely did. And it was so much fun. Great memories, and probably had the best dinner on my birthday that I probably ever had. It was,
nice.
It was a really fun trip.
Tell us about the dinner. We're foodies.
Oh man. Yeah, it was in Manhattan, and it was on like the 50th floor of a building, and you could just see the whole city. And it was just so beautiful. We went right at night, and it was like the sun was setting, and we felt very out of place. It felt like all the like big wigs in New York City were having dinner there, and we just felt out of place in the best kind of way. And looked at the list of wine and thought, I don't know what any of this is. Just give us the cheapest wine. So we were very much out of place.
Fetch me your cheapest wine.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we were going for the 2-digit ones, not the 3 or 4
100%.
digit.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call.
That's awesome.
That sounds great. That's a great milestone.
It is a great milestone. Because you forgot to, when you were introducing yourself, I'll forgive it, but you forgot to say that like one of your distinctions in life is coaching me.
I was gonna get right to it. That was the next thing I was most proud of.
After having, being married and having children, coaching Abby Hutto.
Yeah. Yep. I've been Abby's running coach for what? I don't know.
Well, I know.
How long is this?
7 months, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Sometime in the fall.
This was referenced on the podcast.
It was. So for our devoted listeners, you will recall that we spoke of him.
Yeah, it almost led to
earlier.
a sponsorship deal. We had kind of talked about sponsorship deal with Tyler, sponsoring the podcast.
So because of that, we were thinking we'll never have someone on our podcast who's run what do you even call it when you do a triathlon? Compete?
Yeah. Yeah.
Competed in as many triathlons as you.
Too many.
So I'm just going to do a little rapid round of questions for you.
Hit me.
How many to date triathlons have you competed in?
Oh man, probably 17 would be my guess.
Gosh. Okay.
Varying distances.
Varying distances. Yeah. There's 4 main ones: sprint, Olympic, half Ironman, and full Ironman.
Oh my gosh. Okay. How many fulls have you done?
3.
Yes. And tell us where you've done this.
So I've done 2 here in Chattanooga, 1 in 2022 and 1 last year. And then I did 1 in Nice, France in 2023.
I just think that's cool.
Nice, there's like a dad joke lane that I'm just going to avoid taking right now.
I almost went down that lane.
Yeah. You're not that old yet.
But for there is like because of the Ironman and the half Ironman here in Chattanooga, most people know that. But I mean, just run us through how long of a swim, how long of a run, how long. Am I stealing your questions?
I literally just wrote swim, bike, and run down. So anything that has to do with those 3 categories. So tell us.
So a full Ironman is a 2.4 mile swim, and then a 112 mile bike, and then a full marathon, which is 26.2 miles.
God.
That's incredible.
How many full marathons have you done, Joey?
0.
Ask me how many I've done.
How many have you done?
1.
Wow. You guys are just flexing on me right now.
Because we can. Because if somebody starts pulling out like St. Augustine trivia, we're not going to make it.
Nothing to contribute.
Exactly. In the gym. People would push me around and I'd talk about St. Augustine.
Show them how smart I am. Okay, so I do want to hear, do you have kind of like a funny, like funniest story from, like you could pull from any of those, swimming, biking, running?
In a race or in training?
Any of it.
Well, this isn't funny, but it's more educational. In an Ironman, it's a long time.
Yeah.
So
I have questions.
you got to go to the bathroom.
That was going to be my question.
Yeah. And
Education.
depending on how serious you are about your time, I'd say a good chunk of people will, on the bike especially, will just hop off their bike and use a porta potty.
Yeah.
But I do not.
I was going to say,
Right there on myself.
what portion of people
Yeah.
don't?
Yeah. So I'm
The
one of those
surveys.
ones
Yeah.
who.
I mean, I
yeah.
feel like the swim would obviously be where
Oh,
you
yeah,
would
that's
need to.
easy.
You
That's-
just
Come on, we all
take
do
care of that. Yeah.
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 I mean, I don't even triathlon and I do that.
Yeah, so-
it's fine.
We're going to get an E rating on this episode.
Okay, I'm going to tell you my funniest Tyler triathlon story.
Oh boy.
And then we can move on to more important things. Okay, so Tyler's been training me. And so I was like, I want to see Tyler in his element because like when he tells me to run harder and faster, I want to see him do it too. And so Hannah and I went and camped out to watch you. And Maddie gave us this whole spiel beforehand. She was like, no, listen, he's not going to like smile or like wave at you or maybe even acknowledge your existence, but he will know that you were there. And like, that will be enough. And I was like, I'll be fine. I'm sure he will. Like, he'll, yeah. But he was like so focused that I was like, there was this moment where I was like, if Maddie hadn't told me, I would be thinking, why is Tyler mad at me? What did I do? But that's his focused face. And his focused face is like, he's getting after it.
That's right.
It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, the further into the race, especially on the run, the
Yeah.
harder it is.
Yeah. And I really did
Yeah.
catch you towards
Yeah,
the
it
end. It wasn't fair.
Suffering, you're like
Yeah.
9 hours in and just wanting to die.
Well,
just terrible.
But I was just so proud of you.
Well, thank
My
you for
little
being
heart
there.
was
Yeah.
filled with pride over you.
We had some folks from our community group that came out and cheered as well.
Yeah. And
It
one
was-
of them ran with you for a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. The first lap, I was like, let's go, high fiving people. The second time, when you're at like mile 24
Yeah.
of the run, I was just like,
I
had
hate my
nothing.
life.
And walking up a hill, and Caleb Billingsley ran with me and was
Shout out
yelled
to
at me
Caleb.
to run, and I was like, I don't want to run. I just want to walk up this hill.
Yeah.
But I ran because of him.
And
so,
if I recall, I think he was still wearing his like chino pants.
yeah, probably.
Oh, well,
That's fantastic.
we are so happy to have my coach on the podcast today. But you do more things in life than just coach me.
That's right.
So let's talk
What a
about
segue.
that.
Teed up.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So Tyler does do a lot of things. He's an elder here. Obviously, he talked about family life. One of the things that I think is neat about the work that Tyler does and its importance in the life of our city and beyond in our world, different parts of the organization he's a part of, is that he works at the Maclellan Foundation. Tyler, tell us a little bit about what that means. Many people have probably heard of the Maclellan Foundation, but it does a lot of different things. So what does your work entail?
Yeah, so the quick story of the Maclellan Foundation is that we've been around since 1945. It's a Christian family that started a life insurance company called Provident Life Insurance, and they were a huge, if not the biggest employer in Chattanooga for a really long time, and just made a lot of money in that business. And they decided, hey, we want to give the resources that God's given to us to ministries. And it kind of started in Chattanooga and expanded from there. And so it's awesome. We give grants to different ministries all around the world in almost every continent other than Australia, and which is awesome. And I've been doing that for a long time. And my role at the foundation is our local grant making. So we give in Chattanooga, always have, and I suspect we always will. And so I'm kind of the point person for any ministry or nonprofit that's interested in applying for a grant with us. I'm kind of working with them, getting to know them, trying to figure out if they're a good fit for funding. And then if so, kind of walking them through the grant application process and making recommendations to our board who kind of make the decision at the end of the day. But it's really rewarding and it's just an awesome place to work.
And when you said that, I really just want to say, even Antarctica?
Not you were giving me the look. I was like, uh-oh.
It was me. That was my control yourself, Abby. Don't interrupt him.
I guess I just figured that was obvious, but maybe not.
Penguins need our money.
Yeah, maybe.
So all continents that have people on them except for
There we go.
Australia.
There we go.
You can imagine.
We're after the truth here on the podcast. You know, fact checker Abby is on you.
It's my other love, other than murder, is fact checking. My investigator.
Trying to find the connection between those two.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I can imagine that in a role where you get to have a front row seat to a lot of beautiful things happening. How do you think working there has impacted you personally? How long have you been there?
Almost like 8.5 years.
Yeah. So that's a long enough time probably to see your own heart be impacted by what you do. So what do you think?
Yeah, there's so much I could say. I think the first thing that I typically tell people is getting a front row seat to what God is doing all around the world and through ministries that are reaching people who've never heard the gospel before or drawing people in deeper relationship with Christ and getting to see that kind of on a global stage. Like we hear from ministries like every week and hearing from our staff and you just hear amazing stories. And I remember that just really struck me when I was just interviewing in the first place, but then also just right off the bat, just getting to see that is so encouraging and kind of outside of our American context, you get to see. And then how we work and fund, I don't do any of the international grant making, but the strategies are different in every continent. How our ministry partners are trying to reach people in South America is different than it might be in the Middle East or North Africa, just because, it's just a different climate. So getting to see that and kind of the strategy side is really fun and rewarding. I could also just say, I feel like I have a greater love for the city. Like in my role, I get to meet with awesome leaders every day and get to see what they're doing to just make Chattanooga a greater place and draw people into relationship with him or just kind of do like common good work as well. Being able to see that is awesome. And so I think I have a deeper love and passion for the city than I would before. I could point to like even just books that people on our staff or ministries that have shared my way that has like impacted even where I go to church. Like the fact that we go to Signal Pres is a connection that kind of came through a coworker. There's just so much I could go into, and then I would say like, just you see awesome ministries doing great work, and they have awesome programs or resources that we fund and support, but I get to like participate in some of those. And I can share a little bit more about some of those, but I think there's just several that I've been impacted personally. Having a better understanding of faith and work. There's a long list of different things. It's actually really hard to kind of differentiate in the past handful of years in my life what has come through work and what hasn't. I'd say a lot of different things have impacted me. Yeah,
that's so cool. We've been this last week in Bible studies, our men's and women's Bible study looked at the phrase, our Father who art in heaven. And like the main thing we focused on was just God's transcendence and his control over all things. And I can imagine that being in a job where you get to see like God at work in different ways and in different places and caring for the needs of so many people I can imagine that would help my heart have a bigger view of who God is than I might normally have.
Yeah.
So that's really, really cool to hear about that. So I also wonder, like, if if you have a job where you are strategically thinking through generosity for a large scale type of organization, how has that like maybe changed your own perspective or impacted your own perspective on generosity just in your personal life?
Yeah, so I would say if there's one ministry that's had a big impact on me personally, is an organization called Generous Giving. And the story on that organization goes back like late 90s, early 2000s. The Maclellan family and others just realized how little Christians give in comparison to just the average American. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but the last I think I saw was it might be a difference of like 2.5% to 2%. Like it's not great.
Yeah.
And they just realized, hey, we see the wealth in the hands of Christians, and we want to see more of that released for the kingdom. And so these folks just realized, hey, we want to encourage Christians to be generous, but we can't start an organization that's dedicated to encouraging people to be generous and then say, hey, but can we have some of your money? And so there was this idea to create what they kind of call as like a neutral platform where Generous Giving as an organization can create these conversations for what does it mean to be generous and do so in a way that never asks people for money. And so they do like an annual conference every year, but they also do these short kind of 24-hour retreats that are led by a facilitator. And I would hear about these retreats all the time. It's called a Journey of Generosity. People call it a JOG for short. And I heard about this like right when I started at Maclellan, and I was like, what is all this hype about this? and so I would hear about it all the time. But then secondly, I would hear people say, I wish I would have heard this sooner in my life. You know, it'd be someone who's in their 40s or 50s saying, I wish I would have heard this when I was younger. And at the time I was early 20s. Maddie and I just got married, and we didn't have great wealth by any means, but we certainly had more than we'd ever had before. And one of these retreats, and we were just blown away. And I think it's good for me to be a part of that conversation regularly. And you know, we've facilitated retreats before, and it's a blessing to me every time because I don't think it comes naturally to me. Mm-hmm. Like I think in one of the videos, Tim Keller says a few things, and one of them is that we should probably start with the assumption that we are greedy. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, that's true for me. And the other one that he says is, when he was a pastor, he would say, I have had people confess many sins to me as a pastor. And he said, but I'm still waiting for someone to come to me and confess that I'm greedy. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, but like we are all, I think, we're prone to that. I think I'm prone to that. I don't think generosity comes easy to me. And so that's been a blessing to just think through, like start thinking about that at an early age. And again, I really still feel like it's a work in progress in me, but I think just being around that conversation, thinking about that for the past handful of years has been a huge blessing to me.
I think one of the things that Generous Giving does well is it shows the beauty of generosity as well. And I'd be curious if you have any, whether it's from your own experience leading jogs or, you know, from your own life, is there a sense, because I think it's one of the great apologetics for our age is generosity. So that was not a scheduled question, but do you have any thoughts?
I mean, I guess there are so many stories in the videos that get played in those retreats, and they're intentionally provocative in a way that's like shocks the system a little bit. Like it's like here's someone who says I'm gonna live on 10% and give away 90 instead of like the standard method is like I'm gonna give away 10 and live on the rest. And it's like, you know, what in the world? Like it's just, and there's so many that I could go into. Or even just stories of people that have been impacted that decide, hey, I'm going to foster or adopt because of like, you know, seeing God as a generous God and how does that inform our faith? So there's so many that I could point to, but yes, they're warm the heart in a really good way.
I think in the last few years, one of our sister EPC churches is featured in a video, including a former staff member, David Swanson, talks about this kind of like revival of generosity in his church. It's really remarkable. So I would say I'll put that in the show notes, but we all know I won't. So.
Just remembering now we didn't put in the show notes what we were supposed to last time.
Yes.
I think it's I can't remember who it was. I thought it was Tim Keller, who talked about how what made the early church so unique was that while the whole culture around them was promiscuous with their bodies but stingy with their possessions, the Church of Jesus Christ was stingy with their bodies. They had parameters and holiness as a high priority, but they were promiscuous with their possessions, and they were to just give generously. Probably it was someone else who said that, but I thought it was Tim Keller. But I thought
that's
that was
always a good guess. Sounds like it.
I think that's such a beautiful way of looking at like our possessions, that they are given to us in order for us to just generously, promiscuously give, which also might get us a higher E rating than that. Anyways, go ahead, Joey, with our scheduled conversation.
I do think generous giving has a very much like a on the ground presence in here. So if people are interested about this, generous giving is a good person to reach out to. Tyler, myself are both trained facilitators, so happy to talk about that. But anyways, so from your work in the Maclellan Foundation, you get to be kind of up to your elbows in what's happening within the nonprofit world in Chattanooga. You have probably a good sense also of some of the needs that our city has. And Signal Mountain is technically not within Chattanooga city limits, but for the majority of our congregation, like Chattanooga, we would not be here without Chattanooga. We draw our life from Chattanooga, and so we're invested in the flourishing of the city that we're next to. So what do you see going on in the city in terms of needs, and what are you excited about what's going on in the city in terms of organizations that work on the ground?
Yeah, I think a few things. One, I would say, I think there's a good sense of collaboration amongst ministries. Like I think I've even feel like I've seen that shift a little bit in the past handful of years, and just seeing greater level of collaboration of ministry leaders that are connected to each other, that know each other, that know the other work that their kind of co-laborers are doing in the city. And I think that's really exciting to me, that I just find really encouraging. I think in terms of like kind of needs, maybe a little kind of different take on maybe how to answer that question is like, I feel like there is such a good opportunity on the side of like people who are supporting or giving to those ministries to have like a really clear sense of like where they feel called to get involved. Like, I think that sounds really basic of like, what are the couple issues that God's put on my heart that I could get involved in? And just like asking that question is, I think, really important, and getting some sense of like, what do we have a heart for? Where could we give of our time? Where could we give resources? And actually stopping and like taking the time to say, like, do I have a heart for children, or for, scripture access, or do I have a passion for like supporting our local school, or like I don't know that it really matters. I think just taking the time to think through that, and then like going and intentionally pursuing organizations that are doing that work, and whether that's giving or joining a board if there's opportunity in that way. I see so many such a big need in that department too, of like having great leadership in some of these organizations and giving of your time in that way. And so I think it also is going to allow you to say yes well and say no well too. Like I think that's one thing I've learned in my work is, if you don't have a clear sense of focus when people ask you, it's hard to say no. And so I think I think about that
So
from
true.
like a work, like I think about that from a work standpoint, but I think the same applies as like as just like a member of the community or as a giver of saying, no, we're going to focus on, caring for widows and kids in this particular school, then like something else that comes your way, you can respectfully tell that organization like, hey, we're focused here. And so I think if everyone goes through some form of exercise like that, I think, and actually gets involved, like think about what impact that would make on the city.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to hear from you, Tyler, but I think Joey, I'd love to hear from you as well on this last question. So it sounds like your encouragement to our listeners is spend some time talking to the Lord about like, what are you passionate about? And really identifying those things that you feel are really burdening your heart and that God might be calling you into. So when we think about, okay, I've identified that thing, what are some organizations that our church supports or, just easy entry points that you can think of that you could point people to, or a pathway to help people once they've identified, these are the things I'm passionate about, getting involved? What are some practical next steps?
I think, to me, I don't think it should stop here, but I think a place to start is just to start giving. Like, honestly, I think, that's what Maddie and I do, is just say like, there's a handful of organizations that we just give to monthly, and it's a kind of a part of the routine. And I think I see the value of that from the ministry partners that I'm talking to. Like when they get someone who gives monthly, like it's like gold to them. And so I don't think it should stop there. But I do think that's a really practical, easy way and just giving it to where they need it most. And I think that is going to bless them, but it also is a blessing. It's a gift for our heart too. And so I think, and then just reaching out and just saying like, hey, I want to serve, get involved. Like, what could I do? And I'm sure that there's no shortage of opportunities, but I think to me that is a very easy thing to do. And even if it's not a huge amount, I think it's a gift to them, and I can assure you of that. Yeah.
I remember when Ken and I, when we were coming right out of grad school, and we were still trying to pay off his PhD and all, had 2 little babies. And we had a friend who went to China to be a missionary, and we gave $10 a month. And I remember her writing me an email just saying, you don't know how much when your name pops up every single month, what that means to me, even though it's just $10. It's like, it is a sign that every month you have purpose to care for me in this way. And, that was not much. That's like 2 Starbucks coffees, maybe.
Yeah. Great.
But being generous where we can.
Yeah. I mean,
what would you add to that?
Similar to what Tyler said, our congregation gives significantly to the life of the city as well. And so if you're already giving Signal Pres, you can go to the website, go to ministries, then go to sending and click on that button, and you'll see the ministries that we support here in Chattanooga. And maybe just take a look at those. I mean, I know when we shared about Restore 634 a few months ago, I think it was in November we shared that on Sunday morning, the ministry that some of our members are involved in that helps women who are sort of leaving incarceration or in a sort of a halfway house. I know a lot of folks really felt, this is a beautiful thing that we're getting involved in. And there's so many different stories that we can tell about things that people are doing. So even just starting there, and I think similar to what Tyler said, like what stirs your heart, and then just look at the next step. Tyler and I work together now, both of us kind of stepping this year into leadership with our community ministries partners. I know some of the things that we've talked about is like, how can we help create those pathways to engagement and make them let's sort of help people take that next step. Because sometimes we look at our city, we're like, how do I get involved? And so we want to lower some barriers. But I would, and when I think about one thing also in particular that is very present in the life of our church, but they might miss that I get excited about. I get excited about the work of Faith Co-op, which is an organization that we give to, and we enjoy the Chattanooga Fellows being a part of our organization. Which is just such a great experience for those young men and young women. And the Chattanooga Fellows is a really unique experience. They really get to know the heart of our city. And so they do great work. And I give some of my time to being a part of that program. And I think I'll champion them along with everybody else that we support. I'd be happy to stand up and say this is good stuff that we're a part of.
So go to the website and then click on what?
Ministries. They'll get you a drop down and go to sending.
Okay.
And you'll see our global partners and also our local partners as well.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll put that in the show notes.
No, he won't.
Also, Faith Co-op runs the Chattanooga Fellows program, which has the fellows live with host families every year. So, and I know we have people in our church that have hosted fellows, and that's right. Isn't monetary, but I think that is an act of generosity to open up your home and have someone live there. I think that is another easy way to get involved.
Yes, it's fun. There's one family that has hosted 2 different fellows, and like when the fellow left, they did not leave that family's life, and so it's been beautiful to see that family, Tommy and Amanda Hazlett, and the gift that they've been to Paul Bird and to Matt Whitty, who were served on staff at our church during their time as a Chattanooga Fellow. So they would be happy to talk to you about why you should host a Chattanooga Fellow.
If you have questions, ask them.
That's right. Well, we're in the middle of a year thinking about prayer and helping people pray. And so that means we're going to ask you about prayer, Tyler. So we got 5 questions for you. First of all, what does prayer look like for you these days?
Yeah, I think a few things. One, just back to the workplace. That is a place that prayer shows up in my work day every day. And several years ago, we'd for years had been doing like a staff prayer time on Mondays and Thursdays. And then during COVID, we switched it to doing it every day. So every day at 9 a.m., we pray together as a staff and kind of follows different patterns. Like sometimes we'll hear from a ministry partner, share, another day we'll do family prayer requests. We'll do just notes and updates from the field. Then we'll do some teaching as well. So like that's a point in my work that I'm very blessed and fortunate to, like as an organization, we dedicate time and financial resources, like a good bit of financial resources to prayer. And so I think that's one where it shows up in kind of the regular rhythm of work for me. And then kind of on a personal side, I think for me, it shows up most frequently like with Maddie kind of at the end of the day. So, and we're not always perfect at it by any means, but we try to make that a point of before we go to bed, just to pray together. And for us, that just really looks like just whatever needs or things that are kind of on our heart or things that we've just are regularly praying for. And so we just try to do that together as often as we can at night before we go to bed. And then I would say, like, just as an aside, one thing that I'm trying to do and get better at is like actually just stopping and praying when someone like has a prayer request. Like I think that is just one of those funny things where like, and I'm so guilty of it, where someone will ask a prayer request and I'll just say, yeah, sure, I'll pray for you. And then like either one of 2 things happens. One, I just forget, or B, I just like pray just to like kind of check the box. And I think like an antidote to that, again, that I'm trying to do is just like, hey, can we just pray right now and just stop and do it? And I just think that has such a gift in a way that, I think people are surprised by. Like, I don't think we typically expect that, but like, why can't that be, a part of our routine and rhythm? So, I would say that's kind of how it shows up for me. I think, it's an area that I would love to grow in, but kind of how it shows up for me right now.
That's great.
So just to plug, Sunday mornings, right after Scott preaches, there's always an elder to pray with. And that elder has been you.
Yeah.
You prayed for me and Hannah one time.
Yes.
And I think that is one thing that I would love to see our people just take advantage of that. Like to have someone pray for you is really precious. And it was very meaningful for me when you prayed for me. So I hope our people take advantage of Tyler Haar when he's standing over there.
Oh, man.
Go ask him to pray for you. Okay, this was not on the list, but I'm going to ask you anyways. Do you ever pray when you run or swim or bike?
No.
I know. It's like you either you do and you love it, or you're like, never. I just have found that with people who exercise.
I just can't. Like, I feel like I'm so like locked into what I'm doing. Like, I don't even listen to music when I run.
Oh
so
my
like,
gosh.
I'm one of those weirdos.
Yeah.
So I just
What
like,
do you do then?
I don't know. Just sit with my thoughts.
When we were deciding like when to set our prayer alarms during women's Bible study, one lady was like, I think I'm going to start saying the Lord's Prayer when I swim my laps at the Y. But then everyone was like, but you have to do it out loud. How will you swim laps while you're trying to like, it started a really funny discussion about, do we pray when we exercise or not? Like, and it's definitely, there's some who do and many who don't. Okay, but back to one who don't. All right, do you have a favorite story about prayer?
Yeah, I think one that I thought of was a couple years ago. It's kind of like prayer / like devotional teaching, but it was all kind of wrapped up together. In 2023, Maddie and I were trying to have a baby and had a few miscarriages. And the one towards the end of that year was just really painful emotionally. And I had told like our staff at work about it, just like, yes, of course they stopped and prayed right then and there. And that was a gift. But the really cool thing that it was just kind of one of those like, wow, God really showed up moments was like the next day we had like someone on our staff that was scheduled to teach. His name is Ethan. And he had just felt like God had put, it was an Advent season. And so he taught on Luke 1 with Zechariah and Elizabeth wanting to have a baby. And he shared that teaching. He actually told me ahead of time. He was like, hey, if you don't want to come, like this is like, feels like it's very personal. And I was like, no, I want to be there. And it was like palpable how that teaching felt like it was like for me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just for me, of course, like the truth in scripture is for all, but it was like amazing. Like I remember sitting there just crying because it just felt like, man, God sees me and sees our grief.
Yeah.
And it was just like amazing. Like I had those notes and I just love them. And just, it was such a gift where like that teaching was just, it just felt like it was so timely. And so I think then like that changed how Maddie and I prayed. Like kind of one of the points was like kind of faith and grief and sorrow don't have to like be enemies. Like you can have faith and feel grief and sorrow at the same time. And so that was a gift, but also just kind of changed how we prayed too. Yeah. So that was like a really cool moment that I will hopefully never forget.
Yeah I love that because so many times we carry our griefs inside and we don't talk about them, but your story shows us that like when we are willing to ask for prayer and share what's on our hearts, that can often be the vehicle through which God blesses us. So thank you. That's such a beautiful story.
Yeah, that's great. Well, what do you find hardest about prayer, most challenging?
Yeah, I would say one is like not making it feel like it's like this list. Like I think that sometimes in prayer, even like sometimes can show up a little bit when like Maddie and I are praying at night, is like hear all these things that like we want and to not. And I think it is good to like share what's on our heart to God and to say like, please bring relief in this situation or heal this person or fill in the blank. Like that is a good thing. But I think sometimes I can feel like, am I just like going down this list of things that, and we're in a way that maybe does it feel like it's just like one way. And so I think sometimes prayer can sometimes feel like that, where it's like, is this just like a one way? And so I'm not always great about like stopping and listening and like to listen to like how might God be speaking to me? And so I think that is like a hard part. And I think sometimes like, I think it's probably good to like carve out time for prayer. And I think I don't always do a great job at that. And so I think that part can be like a little challenging for me of like, do I like carve out adequate time for prayer in a way that I might for like reading scripture or other spiritual disciplines. Yeah. So I'd say those are a couple things.
Great. That's very helpful. I think we will all concur. Me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love this question. Who is someone who has shown you Jesus?
A lot of people that come to mind. I think, obviously, I could say Maddie. And she has in a lot of ways, and just her kindness and joy and generosity that is such a gift. I think another, like if I were to just kind of think of my whole life, I think what has been true pretty much the whole time is how God has used friendships in my life. And so there's so many people I could name, but one that I think has really shown me Jesus as a friend named Dylan Dixon. He was a friend in college, and we were each other's best man in each other's weddings. And what he did for me in a lot of different ways, but in maybe like a practical kind of silly story, I had like a girlfriend in college, and we broke up, and I'm very emotional, and I was like devastated about it, and like laying in my bed crying, and he like came into my room, and he was like empathetic and kind, and like understood that I was having a hard time, which now I just laugh about, but that's how I felt. And he was like, all right, man, let's go play ultimate frisbee. And I was like, and it sounds silly, but I think what that did for me was he was like empathetic and caring, but he was like not going to leave me in just like the pit of my sorrow.
Yeah.
And so I think like the people in my life that have shown me Jesus, like Dylan being one of them, have done that for me, where like they care, but they don't leave me like in where I'm at. Like they call me up. And so I think I just remember that story, and he did that for me, and friends have done that for me many times, is like they're full of grace and truth, like Jesus was.
Yeah.
And they were willing to tell me the hard thing or push me in ways that I might not have been comfortable with. And maybe in the moment it might like sting a little bit. Like, I'd rather just like
leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but that they like pulled me and pushed me. And oftentimes it's after the fact where I've reflected and thought, man, that person really showed me love because they told me the truth.
Yeah.
And it stings, but I think that's what Jesus doesn't just leave us as we are.
Yeah.
I love that proverb, faithful are the wounds of a friend. Yeah. It's just I think it acknowledges that it hurts to receive words like that. And I think most of our friendships today, we have little tolerance for that. But it's the faithful thing. And that it's actually the mark of a friend, a good friend who will do that. Well, what is an interesting fact about you, Tyler Haar, that we would be surprised to know about you?
So I think I'm willing to embarrass myself.
Yes.
On the podcast.
Love it.
So
we're a very dignified podcast, but we'll allow it.
All right. I love screamo music.
Wait, I wish we had an example.
I know. I wish I had like a button I could press.
No, but like I loved that music. Like it's like there's like gateway drugs in this.
We are going to get an explicit rating
in this kind of genre of music. So like you can start with like the kind of rock music that people may have heard of that I started out listening to when I was a sixth grader.
Yeah. Like what? Give me
Creed.
an example.
Yeah, little like that was a little too Like I was too young to listen to Creed.
Yeah. You old. You
mouth.
old, Joey. Old.
Joey, you're so old.
He's so old.
I know.
Funny enough,
gosh.
the lead singer of Creed went to Lee, where I went to college.
Oh,
So-
that's funny.
Yeah, paved the way for me.
And your screamo music.
Yep. But so I was like, it was starting out in like bands like Skillet was like a Christian rock
I
band.
totally forgot about Skillet.
Yeah, loved them. Went to a concert when I was like, I think I might have been like a freshman in high school, and my mom was like, I went with a friend, but she was like, I'm gonna come with you. And I was like, this is a Christian rock band. Like, I'm fine. So, but like that's where it started.
Yeah.
But then it like progresses, and like forever, and like that music, it like I feel like it startled me at first, but then the more I listened, I was like, I really like this. This is really good. And that was like when I was in middle school, high school, and I just haven't grown out of it.
Yeah.
Man.
It's so there you go. There's like most people would not know that about me. So
One of my friends from when I was in graduate school, he's currently a professor at New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary, loves screamo music. Give us a name drop. Like what would you?
So like I actually thought about this before, wondering if this question would be asked.
You knew he would go there.
So if you want like the entry level stuff, it's like the Skillet or 3 Days Grace or Breaking Benjamin. If you really want to start, listen to this song called Diary of Jane by Breaking Benjamin.
Okay.
Great song.
That sounds like emo.
That's
screamo.
that's like the entry level, like the milder version. And then you could go up like another level, and there's bands like A Day to Remember or Under Oath was another band.
Under Oath.
Okay, yeah.
Under
Some
Oath.
people have heard of
that's
Under
a-
Oath.
Yeah.
And then like if you're gonna go like all the way, and there's like a level beyond this that was too much for me. Like there's some bands that are just way too dark and creepy. But like there are actually some awesome Christian bands in this world too. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But like if you want to go all the way, like the band that really like sold it for me was a band called August Burns Red. And
I've heard of
Love
none
them.
of these except for Skillet.
All of the names are so intense.
there's one called The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh,
Like I think they
it's
were
a great
like
film.
Yeah.
One of Anne Hathaway's best.
Yeah. I think
exactly
they stole
what it was.
But I think it was like a take on
Oh my
like
gosh.
we're against materialism, and
Yeah.
it's just
Have you
crazy.
have you like concert going? Is that a part of your
Yeah.
screamo?
Oh yeah. In high school, like in my youth group in high school, we would have like screamo concerts.
Oh my gosh.
It was like all the
right.
rage, and I like, man, yeah,
Talk
I would
to-
stage dive, no problem.
Face hurts. I'm smiling so much.
Yeah.
Imagining you.
Or like
Screamo music and stage diving.
yeah, sure. I was all for it. And then like there's like some people maybe heard of like Warped Tour. You guys heard of Warped
Yes,
Tour? It's like a
that's
summer
familiar, yeah.
like kind of festival that had all these bands, and so went to that in high school, and yeah, again, high school, but I haven't that's like that is the remnant of my high school experience. That's like the only thing I've held on to.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Seriously. My face hurts.
Listen, I could have gone any number of different directions, but
this is
thought
This is
Perfect.
good.
truly
This
is
is
the
good.
This
most
is the
surprising
gold
thing.
that
Yes.
because no one would
Love
look
it.
at you
No.
and think
No.
this man listens to screamo music.
Now they know. But I said, no. I got to embarrass
I
myself
can't
on the
wait to see
podcast.
what your community group does with this information.
They're going to cast me out.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe you'll go to a screamo concert
That's
together.
true.
Just
Well-
imagine Hallie with her little headphones on.
Oh,
Getting in the mosh pit.
I can imagine Maddie there. in the
Oh
mosh
my
pit.
gosh. So great. So great.
Man, well, thanks for being on the
I know.
podcast,
Thanks
Tyler
for
Haar.
having me.
You truly are a delightful person.
Yeah.
And it is so fun to have you here.
It's great to have you at Signal Pres. Great to have you serving as an elder. Great to have you at work in our community
Mhm.
in all the ways that you've
Yeah.
just shared. So, yeah.
And Lydia Steimer told me we should not say happy reading anymore because we're in the year of prayer.
That's right.
So we should end by saying happy praying.
Thanks for listening to the Signal Prez podcast. I want to thank our extensive production team, beginning with Matt Broom, soundman extraordinaire.
And thank you to Hannah Sutton and Jackie Carpenter for helping us out with all of our technical difficulties and making it possible for you to listen to this podcast.